What's going on, y'all? My name is Zay, that's Z-A-I, and I'm back on my channel today because today I'm going to see the new Dear Evan Hansen movie. Now, prior to seeing even the trailer for this, I had already listened to the soundtrack multiple times, and I went and saw the show when they came to my hometown. Really good, like top notch to me. Like, obviously it deserved all the Tonys and stuff that it got when it was first released. To be honest, I didn't think that they would be making a movie for this, and when I saw the trailer, it was one of those ads on YouTube that I almost skipped, but it was like I heard Ben Platt's voice and I was like, is this serious? Like, wait, what is happening here? I'm in the parking lot of the theater right now. The movie's about to start. I'm ready. I got my Dear Evan Hansen shirt on. Like, I've been listening to the soundtrack all week. Like, yo, let's freaking go, bro. I'm gonna give my thoughts after it as well. I'm not gonna film anything during because I'll be way too absorbed in the movie most likely. But I will definitely be back in my car and talking about this movie after it's over. So. I'm seeing this movie before I've seen that movie. And I really want to see that movie. But hey, maybe I just prioritize the musicals, huh? Let's do this. No filming movies. There's practically nobody in this theater, bro. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, for those of you who aren't informed either, Dear Evan Hansen is a sad story. It uplifts, has a good message and stuff, but it is a sad story. And I kind of forgot how emotional I got the first time I saw it. So I was really trying not to cry. It was making my head hurt, and I almost cried 3 different times. I know what happens, and I still almost cried 3 different times, y'all. First initial reaction to the movie, I really liked the movie. I think it was pretty solid overall. Not any complaints that I have are very, very minute details and stuff. No casual viewer would really, have too hard of an opinion like I do, but that's because I'm not casual. So anyway, let me get into the first thing. The music. Have to get into the music. Obviously, if they had cut the music, I would have been pissed off. Oh, wait. So this is spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen, heard Dear Evan Hansen at all. This is also kind of spoilery in case you want to see the movie for yourself. Stop watching right here because I'm about to get into stuff that you will see that you will not really want to be spoiled. At least to me, it wouldn't be right if I just spoiled it for you. But if you don't care about that, keep on listening. So here we go with the music, right? Off the rip, I was like, okay, first thing I'm worried about, song order and execution of said songs. I don't know how they're gonna do that. And off the rip, they skip one of the songs. And I was like, so it's gonna be like that this time. Okay. I thought because they skipped it, they skipped the very first opening song and then they went straight to Waving Through a Window, right off with Ben Platt, Evan Hansen, before introducing anybody else. So off the rip, I thought, okay, so this is a cast of people who I guess can't sing or don't have much experience singing. That's why they're skipping other songs, because they're not being able to sing it. But then later on they end up singing all these other songs and I'm like, okay, so they can sing. Why the heck did they skip these? Maybe it was just a time issue, because the movie's 2.5 hours long, and it's not like a musical thing. It's not like it's not like obviously a musical thing. What like scenes were kind of structured. Some of them are structured kind of awkwardly, the way they transition between real world interactive style to then switching to people singing. Sometimes it was like it didn't like fully switch to just people singing. It was like they were singing, and I guess they're singing in their head, but everyone else in the room perceives them as just talking poetically, I guess. I don't know. And like, yeah, musically it was good. Like they were going through the song list pretty well, except for like the first skip. They skipped the first song. They skipped they replaced, that's what they did. They replaced a song. They replaced since they replaced Disappear with an original song. I think it was written by the same guy, and it was good. And I think it added something to Alana's character a bit. But I was kind of hoping to hear Disappear because I thought that was good. Especially once I heard the guy playing Connor Murphy, can't remember his name. When I heard him singing in Sincerely Me, I was like, oh, okay, so he can sing. So maybe we'll get something cool in Disappear. Then we don't get Disappear. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Anonymous, I think it was called Anonymous Ones, still a good song. And then near the end, what they changed a few things to kind of structure it like more movie-like. They add in a bunch of stuff during like time lapse, because theater they kind of can't really do that. They just kind of go away and come back, and it's like, oh, this is later in time. This one they kind of show time lapse a bit, and they show what I thought was clever. What they did was that they were doing it like a score, like a song in the background, and then it turned out to be an original song that would have been like in the context of the story. It would have been Connor, one of the songs that Connor wrote, and it was a video of him playing the song, which I thought was really clever. And it didn't like hit me until I like kind of like halfway through the development. Then I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They didn't do like finale stuff because it's like, well, that's just, you know, like overture, like combination of all the other songs that they already sang, and they don't really do that in movies, not unless they're like straight up musicals. I was surprised at the fact that they used so much they didn't use a lot of post studio like audio recordings, right? It wasn't a lot of them standing in the booth singing their hearts out into the mic. It was a lot of it was in the moment, like set audio. Like, I don't know, they had like a camera on the mic on the camera or something right next to them so that they could pick it all up, because you can hear how it's not like it's layered, like they're just trying to act out what they already sang. It's like it's in that moment, like all the, like any of the crying, any of the sniffles, anything like that, like you could hear that, and it's matching up. Like unless they just did some magic work to line that up in sync to where it was like seamless, that would be insane. But I don't think that was possible. So that I thought was really cool. Like, and I'm not like really mad at the fact that they cut a few songs, because I think sometimes that just ends up happening. But like, yeah, I'm not like really mad at it, really. It was just kind of stuff that like surprised me in the moment. So it was like, yeah, all right, yeah, whatever. But yeah, it still turned out really well. Like, supporting cast was good as well. Like, they even had people that would, I guess, be singing in like the chorus or something like that. They sang really well. It was only for like snippets that you really got like to see their shining moments, I guess. But it didn't matter, because like if you heard the chorus, it wasn't anything like jarring. So that means that it blended really well. I want to talk about the acting. Let's go with the acting, right? Moments in there, very, very few. I was feeling like this is just too weird, because it's weird to see Ben Platt being like looking like a teenager, because it's like every time they do a close-up of his face, I'm like, yo, this dude is not a teenager. Like he's just not. You just can't like look at it that way. It just looks weird. But regardless of that, it's like you see how professional he is because of the emotional layers that he's able to portray even on camera. Like it translate, like I think I see it well like with In the Heights as well, because like Anthony Ramos being on Broadway and then goes to the big screen, and it's like, well, like, you know, it's obviously like they know what they're doing. It's just different to see them on a big screen rather than looking at them on a stage. Like you can really see the detail in their performances. Is really what I'm trying to say. Couple moments where I was like, yo, the Mama Murphy, you were kind of creeping me out a bit. Like I don't know what it was, but there was something in the way that she talked that really didn't sit right with me in moments. I literally would like crease and like sit back in my chair like, I think what was weird was that they kind of nixed Connor's early development, because like they cut the first song and they didn't do Disappear. So you kind of, I know Disappear isn't like really, you know, Connor, like none of it's really Connor, but like the very first song, Anybody Have a Map, it's like that kind of sets up the image of the Murphy family, and we don't have that at all when it goes straight to just seeing Connor Murphy in the hallway and then seeing Zoe being like, yeah, and I'm sorry about my brother. It's like, well, we didn't even know that until then. We would know that if there was the initial setup at the beginning. They added a little bit with Alana's character development. I felt it coming when they cut Good For You. I like Good For You a lot, and I'm kind of upset that they cut that song, because I just really wanted to see like Evan being in his own head and having his mom, Alana, and what was his cousin, can't remember his name, like all of them like doing that, because all we really got were silent looks like of their realization rather than them confronting him with it, which I think would have been better. But you know, it's like give and take kind of thing. Like, yeah, I think it was just like they had all around pretty good performances. Like just Mama Murphy was just kind of I'm only really gonna jump on this topic because I'm more into film now. I'm like film major, so I'm trying to be like more adept into what I'm watching. I noticed stuff with like the editing, because the camera work was pretty like, it was pretty simple. You don't really have to do anything major with this because it doesn't require anything like that. But editing wise, it was like, I get that they were editing musically with most of the songs. Some of it felt weird, like, because some of it was on the words, some of it was on the rhythm. That's kind of how it works. And I think one scene, there was like some motion that happened and it was like not, it wasn't in sync to me. And then I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, you know, it was one of those like they were about to stand up and then the cut happened and then they were like still sitting like before even standing up. It wasn't like smooth transition. Yeah, and then like I was saying, like the transitions between song and like normalcy, that was something that was just like a weird, it wasn't even editing that was a problem. That was just kind of like a couple songs, they flowed well. Like you felt it coming. There'd be like silence for like 20 seconds. So then it was like, okay, yeah, song's incoming. And then you hear the notes, boom, start singing. But the ones that were like, I don't know, he's rambling, talking, and then he just all of a sudden switches from normal speaking voice to toneful singing voice. And then the music starts. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, how did we just switch like this? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. All in all, I think it was a really good movie. Like, I think that, especially if you can't see the Broadway production, I still think I would rather go see the Broadway production because I think just seeing things in their originality is probably like just better. I think if you can't see it live on a stage be performed that way, this is a good alternate. But I don't think I would be like, yeah, just stick with this, because there also is, I believe there's a book, and I haven't even read that yet. If there is one, I probably should. But even so, like, I don't know. I just feel like it was gonna happen regardless, because theater performances last so much longer than movies, and nobody was gonna go and see this movie if it was like 4 hours. I know that, but I still feel like they could have done some things that made it feel more like the theater performance. Granted, there are some things that like they'll change because people think, oh, okay, we can do this because it's a movie, and that's fine. But then obviously the drawback is that sometimes when you do that, you take away from the elements that are rooted in the original performance. And since they're written for the stage, that's where you get that stuff. So then when you try to do it in the movie, it can take it away. And that happened in a few moments that seemed key to me. Granted, I still cried. So like, it's like, well, the movie did its freaking job. So there really isn't anything to complain about. And they took my money. So yeah, they pretty much win it either way. Look, either way, I think you guys should go check this movie out. Also listen to the soundtrack, both actually, the original production and the movie version, because they are different. I'm gonna be listening to the movie version for like the next week now, because there are songs that I like, and I just kind of want to go back and forth hearing like the differences. And it is different like seeing it as well, but I think hearing it is at least a good thing to start with, because even just hearing the songs, you really just like get the story told through them. Not completely, but you at least get the main thread kind of going through. What the? Okay, headlights. 8.5 out of 10. I give the boost of like a half because of the added music, because that was solid, right? I only go up to 8 because, you know, directing was good, editing was pretty solid, sound mixing was good. There's just like a few things that I wanted that weren't there, and there were maybe, God dang, why are your headlights so bright, bro? Things that weren't, like, there are a couple things that weren't there, and maybe a few things that they were trying to do that maybe could have been executed a tiny bit better, but those are just things that are like, it isn't even like, you know how when you do something then you're like, oh wait, I could have done this better, and that's me looking at it and I didn't even do the dang thing. So that's just me being me. That's just, yeah. Still highly recommend going to watch this movie. I still think it's good. Even if Rotten Tomatoes says different, I actually didn't check the rating, but even if it says different, I still think you should go watch this movie. Anyway, that's gonna be it from me. If you enjoyed my reaction-ish review of the Dear Evan Hansen movie, make sure that you drop a like on this video and then comment down below what you thought of my opinions, and if you have seen it, what opinions you have on the movie, or just on like Dear Evan Hansen in general, what your emotions are feeling like when you listen/watch that kind of thing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit a goal of like, I'll say 500 right now. I think I'm at like 340, something like that. So I'm trying to hit 500. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in another video. Peace.